Do you want astrology that gets results?
Pause. Breathe. Listen. The universe is always listening. Now is the time for you to listen back. Have you ever wanted to know, what is astrology? How can I relate to it? And what place can it have in my life? Here's your guide.
When you spend some time looking at the night sky, into that blackness, those points of light there, do you notice that some of them actually move? How would you describe what the night sky actually is? Like, what is it? When you open your functioning eyes on any given day, you'll be guaranteed to see your immediate surroundings. There might be anything there. And when you navigate your surroundings, the task of your conscious mind is to recognize form and ascribe function to it. That there is a cup. Inside it is coffee. When I drink it right now, the coffee will burn my tongue. Now, you can use any words and definitions that you want to describe the elements of your surroundings. And you can tell yourself that these elements can mean whatever you like them to. In the function of human existence, passing information from one person to another is the way we convey this information to our offspring, to our families, and our immediate community. Could you imagine the consequences if everyone had a different way of describing the location, description, and temperament of the local bad-tempered bear? Or is it a cheetah? Or perhaps it's a field of edible plants. Taste delicious. Now close your eyes. There's blackness, points of light, things moving around in there. How would you describe what you see? What is it? When you close your functional eyes on any given day, you'll be guaranteed the awareness of things you can't see. There might be anything in there. When you navigate these surroundings, the task of your conscious mind is to recognize form and ascribe function. That goes out the window. And that thing is useless in here. Now you can use any words and definitions you want to describe the elements of your experience. You can tell yourself these elements mean whatever you like. In the function of human existence, passing information from one human to another is the way we communicate information to our offspring, our families, and our immediate community. Now, can you imagine the consequences if everyone had a different way of describing something that no one else can see, that has little to no impact on anyone else? Yeah, well, that's what we've got. We communicate our experience of the inside to the outside. Other people just nod and smile, yet their understanding of what we perceive when we describe it will always be different to ours. In this way, we are all unique. And in this way, we are all exactly the same. We are all alone in the darkness. Throughout history, humanity has attempted to bridge the gap between the unseen and the seen, to understand what we actually are. Over that time, the human mind has developed theoretical frameworks to support the conscious mind to notice the invisible, to make conscious the unconscious, to grasp the ungraspable, and to know the unknowable. And some well-known theoretical frameworks are religion and spirituality, philosophy, psychological sciences, science and rationalism, mysticism and esotericism, and social political thought also deserves an honorable mention in there. Now, what is astrology? Let me tell you. Once upon a time, the desert and ocean people looked to the stars for fixed or constant points to use in their navigation. They didn't have any mountains or rivers to follow, just the consistency of the night sky. These watchers noticed that some of the stars moved, and these were called wandering stars, but from which we get the word planet, thanks to the ancient Greeks. When stars collided or intersected with others, the watchers noticed a coincidence. between these and world events. The most astute of these watchers became sacred advisors to the rulers of nations. Over time, practitioners of astrology have sharpened their focus from the macro to the micro, using astrology as a framework for the mind to understand itself. You see, astrology is not a science, it is an art form of perceptual awareness. In this way, it doesn't matter whether your chart is accurate or not, or takes this shape or that form or not. So long as you have a conceptual framework that feels right for you, that helps your mind to understand itself, then your astrological practice will be effective.
Deep in the darkness of the universe was a being that could not see itself. It did not know who or what it was. So it cast a light by which to see itself, and it saw all that was above and all that was below. The line between the two was named the horizon, and the wandering stars both above in the world and below in private were seen as rising from the ascendant on the left, travelling across the top of the day and down into the descendant on the right, before the circle completes. When the eye of the day is above the horizon, the wandering stars cannot be seen by the naked eye, yet they are there, just the same. The place your body is born into on this world has a special relationship with the path of the sun. Where the highest point of the sun crosses the longitude of your birthplace, this is called the midheaven, or the MC. Often referred to as the MCIC line, it divides expression from reception. The Placidus system divides each quarter of the chart into thirds, based on the time it takes for the sun to move through each quarter, and the divisions are numbered into 12 houses. In the equal house system, the midheaven becomes a placement of the 10th house. The ascendant is now a placement of the first, and when drawn on paper, the Placidus chart looks like this. Our planets are still there, see? Yet when we draw them as symbols, or the letters of a language, we call them glyphs. And their locations in the sky are represented by glyphs as well.
So there you have it, a complete map of the starting point of who you are when you came into this world. Your evolution, personal growth, and character development from that point on is wholly within the hands of your caregivers. Yet, when you become responsible for yourself, when you claim your power to live your own life and make your own decisions to be who you are, then the power to shape the nature of your character is wholly yours. You may have heard of astrological transits or progressions, and that these planetary influences are controlling your life. Let me give you an example of how this actually works. Sometimes you might want to have a cup of coffee, yet all you have to hand is cold water. Other times your cup might be cracked or have a broken handle, which makes the task of enjoying your hot coffee somewhat challenging. Some other times you might be just right out of coffee. Similarly, you might want to taste success in your life, and all you have is low enthusiasm. At other times, your chosen vehicle to get you there might be cumbersome, making your enjoyment of success somewhat challenging. At other times, you may just be right out of resources and recourses. The progression of the astrological placements is an indication to you of the resources you have to hand and the inherent challenges that grow your character. For example, when you're low in coffee, you might need to learn the skills to meet your neighbor in a polite request for him to give you some coffee. At other times, the task may be somewhat more challenging, like going to work to earn the money to buy the cup. The lessons inherent to that process are the growth of your character. Consulting your astrology chart regularly will let you know when it's time to buy coffee or to replace the cup. So get out into the world, overcome those obstacles to make this stuff happen. Astrology will never, ever tell you that coffee is going to fall from the sky. Move as if no one is watching. because the universe always is. My name's Mark Lingham from Results Astrology, and I'm dedicated to putting insight into action.
If you or someone you know wants to take your astrological practice to the next level, scan this code to contact me, or alternatively, you can book a free call at www.iseekmypeak.com.